Tonight, my friends, we will be covering fun facts, history, events that's happened on Halloween, October 31st.
As many of you know, this is the time that the veil between the living and the dead becomes the thinnest, and the time when the dead come to visit us. The tradition of wearing scary costumes on Halloween came from the ancient Celtics, who believed that dressing up as demons and such would ward off evil spirits that roamed the streets during Samhain. Samhain is the pagan holiday equivalent to Halloween.
The 11th century Christians, in an effort to convert pagans, changed Samhain to a 3-day celebration called All Hallows Eve, which was celebrated from the 31st to November 2nd, which eventually became Halloween.
Samhainophobia is the medical term known as the pathological fear of Halloween.
People love carving pumpkins during Halloween, however, few know its dark history. According to Celtic lore, there was a miserly old man who used to play tricks on the devil. He was denied from both hell and heaven. Instead, he was condemned to the earth, where he would use his lantern to lead people astray from their paths.
The word witch actually comes from an Old English word meaning wise woman. Wiccans were once highly respected. It was once believed that Wiccans would hold one of their 2 annual meetings on the Sabbath, which was Halloween.
Owls are popular Halloween symbols. In medieval times, owls were believed to be witches, and if you heard one screech, it was believed that someone was about to die.
Legend has it that if you see a spider on the ground on Halloween night, that means that a loved one is watching over you. Black cats are often known as a spooky symbol of Halloween. If a black cat crosses your path, it's often known that you will have bad luck. In the medieval ages, black cats were known as familiars to witches. This perpetrated the idea that black cats were bad luck and evil.
Back when the Celts were observing Samhain, they would store up for winter and sacrifice animals to the Celtic gods. They would take the bones and burn them in the fires, and that's where we get bonfire.
Legend has it, if you put your clothes on inside out and walk around backwards on Halloween night, you will see a witch at midnight. During Samhain, some villagers would put on animal skins and dance around the fire to scare off evil spirits. This practice evolved into mumming in the Middle Ages. Bands and masked costumers would take to the streets to entertain people in exchange for food and drink. In Scotland and Ireland, children would go guising, which is a tradition where they dressed up in costume and went door to door. If they performed a trick, such as dancing or singing, they would be rewarded with a treat, such as fruit, nuts, or candy.
During the celebrations associated with All Souls Day on November the 2nd, poor people would knock on wealthy people's doors to get pastries for treats. Like guising, souling was a precursor to modern trick-or-treating.
Scottish and Irish immigrants to North America brought their souling and guising with them, but young children began to prefer pranking over tricking. By the 1920s, these pranks were causing serious damage to property. The increasing violence of these tricks led to the more organized event known as trick-or-treating. In 18th century Ireland, another tradition
was that a cook was to hide a ring in the mashed potatoes, and whoever was to find it first was bound to find true love.
According to legend, in the late 1800s, if a young woman was to stare into a mirror In a dark room on Halloween, she would see the face of her future husband.
This one's quite interesting. Bad behavior. Studies have shown that Halloween makes children a little more evil than usual. Children's identities are hidden, and they are also emboldened by groups. Because of this, Halloween makes children far more likely to steal candy and money. Keep an eye on your children.
Who has a birthday on Halloween? Who is so lucky to be born on All Hallows Eve?
So here is a list of celebrities from different countries around the world. First off, Vanilla Ice.
Isn't his name Robert Van Winkle?
Willow Smith, Will Smith's daughter.
News anchor Dan Rather was born on October 31st, 1931. Canadian actor John Candy in 1950. Rob Schneider in 1963. Dermot Mulroney, also in 1963. Sally Kirkland in 1941.
Larry Mullen Jr., 1961. Brian Hallisey, 1978. Now for a few events in history. Ezra in the scriptures read the law to the Israelites.
In 1994, 68 people were killed when the American Eagle flight plunged into an Indiana farm. In 2008, Distribution Audio Video Incorporated shipped its final shipment of VHS tapes to stores. It's time to make like a pumpkin and roll.